Everyone to tonight's Monday night Go-Getters team call. We have a special night tonight. We have Dr. Tulip on the call as a specialist, and we're going to have him ask him some good questions about strictly, we're only going to talk about XanthoMyst. He's an expert on mangosteen, and we're going to be talking to him about them. But before we start, I want to bring out some announcements just to remind everyone about the promotions that we're having. We're still running the 777 promotion that you can earn up to $1,000. That ends at the end of the month. We got about 5 more days for that. If you bring in if you sell or have somebody order a 1 pack, you get 7 people to do that. You get an extra $200. If you get 14 people to do it, you get $300. And if you get 7 more, that's 21. You get an extra $500. Is $1,000 on bonuses. If you haven't done it yet, at least try to hit that 7. Try to get 7 people that you already have that had not ordered the Exhilarate yet. Go ahead and get them to get on. That counts as them as one. We also have the Founders Club going on through March the 1st. This is going to be available, and all these awards will be given out in Reno in April the 11th through the 13th. But the Founders Club is pretty good. It's you can earn up to $5,000 for first place, but the first top 100 people who get 7 people get a Founders Club pin at the event, and also a Founders Club cup. Also, they're going to be giving out. And if you come in third place among of everybody that have to have at least 30 new people, you can earn $2,000 in third place with 2 tickets to the event plus 4 bags of 4 bags of Exhilarate. And if you come in second place, they have to have 40 new people and signed up with Exhilarate. You can earn up to $3,000, 2 free tickets, and 10 bags of Exhilarate. And the number one place person who brings in 50 new people will make $5,000, gets 2 tickets to the event, plus hotel all expense, plus 20 bags of Exhilarate. So, folks, if you haven't started that, we still got till March 31st. Reach out to me, put a game plan together, and I'll be gladly, me and Adelki will be glad to help you guys out to get those goals and be able to be a founder. And also mark your calendar for April the 11th through the 13th. We're going to be in Reno, Nevada for corporate event. You don't want to miss that. Corporate events is one thing that I always encourage everybody to go. Leaders come out of corporate events. People who go to corporate events can tell who are the top of the leaderboard. So if you haven't anything planned for April the 11th through the 13th, schedule it out. Make your trip, make your vacation going to Reno, Nevada that date. All right. If you have any questions afterwards, you can reach out to me, and then we can go ahead and get started. Well, folks, I want to get tonight to talk to a special person, Dr. Tulip. He's on this call. Let me unmute him first before I do this. Let me unmute. Unmute yourself, Dr. Tulip, if you can. He is a specialist. I did not know this stuff. I read up and learned a little bit about him. He's a colon and rectal specialist surgeon. He's been practicing over 20 years, licensed to practice in 20 different countries. He is the first doctor to do surgery over the internet. That is something I like to talk about. And that's amazing. He was the first. So, Dr. Tulip, are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, great, doctor. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
Thank you for jumping on board today, sir.
Good.
Well, Dr. Tulip, how we start this off, I start off with about a couple of questions, 4 or 5 questions. We open it up to the board, and people just ask you some questions. We try to keep it no more than 45 minutes, so I'll be going through fast, ask you some questions, and we'll go through there. Sounds great?
Yes. That's good. Right. Doctor, let me correct you a few things, okay?
Yes, go ahead.
I've been in practice for over 60 years.
Oh, 60 years. I got that wrong.
Yeah. And I'll be in next birthday 92 years old.
Wow,
Mm.
congratulations. Now you're gonna
Never,
have to tell us a secret, right? You're gonna tell
yeah,
us a secret, right?
yeah. I have not taken a single pill.
Oh, that's the secret.
That's the
That's the
secret.
secret, right?
I think every one of us can reach 100 with no medication.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
You
Well,
know?
doctor, with that said, my first question is that tell us a little about your background because not too many of us know your
Yeah, I
background,
was I
right?
was born in South Africa
Hmm.
of Indian parentage. My grandparents were brought from India as indentured laborers, like a slave, by the British government, because Britain controlled India and South Africa in the 1800s. So, since I was born in South Africa, so were my parents. We had 8 kids, three girls and 5 boys. We were extremely poor. We had one bedroom, two-bedroom house with no running water, no electricity. So we used candle lights, and we had toilet outside of the house, and we used rainwater. My three siblings that were older than me could not go to school. In South Africa, under the apartheid system, if you're not white, you cannot go to school.
Hmm.
So I learned how to read and write and do math by candlelight. Then many years later, they opened up one school, grade school in my hometown, and only select few were admitted. Then there was only one high school, and only 120 kids were admitted because of there were no more schools in my hometown. For thousands and thousands of Indian population, of course, the blacks were not allowed near any school. So eventually, when I turned 18, I left South Africa.
Hmm.
I told my dad I want to be educated, and he bought me the books, but he said, "Yeah, we can't send you, we don't have money." So I told my dad, it took me 2 years to convince him to borrow money from friends and relatives. I took a one-way airline ticket uh, and we didn't have jet planes, so it took me 5 days to reach London from Johannesburg.
Wow.
So, and then I got a job making sausages at midnight shift, and I went to school during the day. Eventually, I passed all the exam. I was admitted to the medical school at the Royal College of Surgeons and Physicians, which I graduated in 1962. Okay. And then I wanted to become a surgeon. And my parents disowned me because they were very proud of what I've achieved. They wanted to show me off to the rest of the family. But I told my dad I could not come back because who's going to train me to be a surgeon? Besides, I can't work in a hospital. Only white surgeons were allowed. So against their best wishes, and I left London. I borrowed money from three friends and took the boat and landed in New York. The best hospital I found in the United States for becoming a surgeon was Henry Ford in Detroit. That's how
Hmm.
I ended up. But I borrowed money. I landed in New York after 4 days on the boat and with $5 in my pocket. So I didn't know what the distance was. I called Henry Ford. They said, we don't accept foreign doctors. We got enough applicants from American doctors. So the chance of you getting in our program is very limited. But I was determined. So I met a sailor on the boat, and he felt sorry for me and bought me a one-way ticket for $15 from New York to Detroit. So I landed in Detroit and I presented myself before the surgical committee that selects people. So the guy said, we were surprised. I told you we don't have space for you. So they said, oh, since you are here, see if you can pass all our exams. So I passed all the exams they gave me. I was one of the 15 doctors they picked, of which only six will graduate.
Wow.
So I graduated. I was one of the six that graduated after 5 years doing my residency. In my last year of my residency, I was on call at the emergency room in a 2 year period several times a week. And I had to operate on people who were on head on collision. And at that time, we didn't have CAT scans, and I couldn't find any injuries. So, but they were throwing up. They couldn't keep water or anything. So I made them swallow barium to see where the blockage is. So right at the opening of the stomach was a blockage. So I had to open the belly up. There was a blood clot. How did they get the blood clot? When they went backwards in a head-on collision and ricocheted 10 times faster and hit the steering wheel.
Hmm.
So I wrote a scientific article published in a leading medical journal, and I called Ralph Nader. I don't know if you guys remember, any of you. I said, lap belt is not enough. You got to have a shoulder belt. From then on, every car has that shoulder belt. So
Yeah.
that was my first scientific publication.
Wow.
So,
Amazing.
so, and then I started robotic surgery 30 years ago. So I've been doing robotic surgery for a long time. And then I came through the Mangosteen and I said, you know what? The human body is a wonderful organism. If you take care of it in a proper way, you
Mhm.
don't need medications.
Man.
80 to 85% of all diseases are preventable. Only 10 to 15% are genetic. Okay, even genetic diseases can be prevented.
Hmm.
Because of the system we have, our medical system is the way it's constructed. It's all about money, how much money you can make. And I hate to tell drug companies have a major uh, influence on doctors, hospitals, politicians, because they make billions of dollars out of people's sickness.
Hmm.
And in my 90, I'll be 92 in about 6, 8 months. I've never taken a pill to prove that, and I've been traveling all over the different countries. I've been to most countries of the world to find how other countries can live to be 100, like Tibet, Sardinia, and all of those blue zone countries without any medication. And the reason for not getting sick is the basis of all inflammation, all cancers is due to inflammation. If you can prevent inflammation in your body, then you'll never be sick.
Amen.
So, and I did a research on the basis of what it is in our makeup in our body. We are all made of matter. Everything on earth is made of matter, and there are four forms of matter: solid, still liquid, gas, and plasma. And everything that you have on this earth is made of matter, and every matter is made of atoms. Okay. Then I did my research to see what happens when we have anything toxic in our body. We are exposed to so much free radicals, and everything we eat, the air, the water is not pure. And every year there is more and more toxic substances. So what happens is the body cannot accommodate anything if it does not have natural stuff in our body. When you change the DNA of any product, whether it's meat or fruits or vegetable, you produce free radicals. Okay? And free radicals are very unstable in our body and they like to become stable. The only way they become stable is to steal an electron, which is in at the atomic level, okay, and from a mother cell, which produces daughter cells. And to be healthy, the mother cell must have even number of electrons. So if we have free radicals in our body every second of our lives, they are very unstable. The only way they become stable is to steal an electron from the mother cell
Hmm.
to become stable. They have even number of electrons. But if you steal an electron from a mother cell, her atomic cell becomes uneven. They are become a problem. And that's how cancer and most diseases start,
Hmm.
arthritis and everything else. So I studied on polyphenols and I studied a lot of other fruits and the number of polyphenols in a mangosteen fruit is exceeds any other fruit or vegetables.
With that said,
Uh,
that's one of my next questions is that what is the benefit for us, right, of
right.
the mangosteen? Because we know
Uh-huh.
a little bit about the inflammation, but I know there has to be more than just inflammation. And I know you really have given to a lot of your patients have referred them to the mangosteen. So give
Yeah,
us a
right.
little bit more detail of the mangosteen. What does it benefit us in our bodies?
Well, like we have. free radical or toxic substances almost every second of our life. And that's what causes most diseases and cancers. The mangosteen has billions and billions of electrons in the form of polyphenol. So when you take enough of that on a daily basis, you neutralize the action of free radicals. So there's no other fruit that has more polyphenol, more electron than the mangosteen fruit. You
Mm.
can eat spinach is good for you. You
Mhm.
know, a lot of vegetables are good for you. Okay, but you have to eat a truck full of that every day. How many of us can do that?
Yeah.
So this is what we have found, that this polyphenol in the mangosteen is so powerful to keep you healthy.
Mm.
Okay.
Good.
So this is the basis of the benefit of mangosteen.
Mm.
Okay. Now, when I joined uh, the mangosteen fruit and did some research, I found out that when you eat or drink anything by mouth, by the time it goes into the blood, it takes 18 to 24 hours. But when you eat anything and you put it in your mouth, it mixes with the digestive juices. There are three digestive juices in the stomach: the gastric juice called hydrochloric acid, bile juice from the gallbladder and the liver, and the pancreatic juice. The function of those three digestive juices is to reduce everything you eat into pure liquid. So that goes into the small bowel. Then the small bowel absorbs the elements the body needs. But the side effect of those three juices, it destroys 90% of the elements that you're supposed to get into your bloodstream. Then what happens then when you have a problem with your heart, you have any chest pain called angina, your doctor will prescribe, um, nitroglycerin, right? You put under your tongue.
Mm.
Or anything you put in your mouth, it absorbs within a few seconds. It goes into the bloodstream right away.
Mhm.
That's the advantage of nanotechnology. So if you take a nitroglycerin by mouth and swallow it, you will be dead and buried by the time it gets into your blood.
Mm.
So the nanotechnology makes it substance you're taking to prevent you dying from a heart attack is nanotechnology. Because
Wow.
anything you put in your mouth, it
Mhm.
gets absorbed immediately. Okay? So that's what we have come out with. And that's why it's so powerful. Okay?
Wow.
At my age, I work 9 to 10 hours a day,
Mhm.
5 days a week. I still play tennis, I play golf. So that's a big advantage to me.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. The breakdown of the nanotechnology of our
Uh,
XanthoMyst
uh,
compared to the mangosteen juice.
yes.
What's the difference? Why is it so powerful, the nanotechnology? And you
Uh,
really basically explained it to us really good. So,
right.
so you really, I know back in the days when we used to have the mangosteen juice. I
Mhm.
mean, we used to drink it, quite a bit to get that
Quite a
boost,
bit.
right?
Right, right.
So
But
compare
90%
that
get destroyed. Yeah.
right now. So compare that with the the xanthomist that we have. What kind
Yeah.
of boost do we need to get to that level, or do we need to do that?
We need to do that if you want 100% absorption of the
Hmm.
elements you love. Okay. Like the free radical, to get rid of them, you must, you put something in your mouth that 100% gets into your bloodstream.
Hmm.
But by drinking or eating something that's beneficial, 90% is destroyed by the digestive juices. So that's a big advantage.
So,
Okay.
so our nanotechnology is really a plus, right? Because
Plus, no doubt, no
it
doubt.
bypasses all the acids, the three
Right,
acids in our bodies. That's
right.
that's really great. That's something good. So, so many years and you've been in the bit, it's 60 years in practice, right? I know
Right.
that you have had quite a bit of patients that you have provided them mangosteen, the
Sure.
juice,
Sure.
and then on and now imagine now with the xanthomist. What have you seen the difference in your patients drinking the mangosteen juice before and
Uh,
now the nanotechnology? What do you see in the difference? Are they
well,
improving or
yeah, about not too long ago, about 6 months ago, when I was doing my in-home evaluation of patients for insurance companies. I don't do any surgery because I'm 90 years old. No insurance people will cover me in
Right.
case of malpractice. But I do a in-home evaluation, and in 1 month's time, I came across 4 patients, and I usually question them and examine them. And 4 of the patients on that week had macular degeneration.
Hmm.
Okay, they're losing their sight. Because I asked them, "You have any problem with your eyes? Have you seen an ophthalmologist?" Oh, yeah. He says that he told me that I have macular degeneration, and we have to inject cortisone.
Hmm.
Okay, so I said, fine, keep your appointment, but I will tell you what you should do if you want to. I don't tell them you must do it. It's up to you. I know inflammation is very important, and macular degeneration is due to inflammation in the back of your eyes called the retina. I said, why don't you take this for 3 months? Postpone your appointment. And then they did that, and they got the mess, and 3 of them called me. I said, we went back to the doctor. The ophthalmologist said, what do you do with your eyes? I don't see you got hardly any macular degeneration. What are you doing? What kind of pill are you taking? They said, I'm not taking any pill, but I'm making sure that I eat something fresh. And but I said, don't say what recommendation because I'll lose my license. And then it ended up they didn't get the cortisone injections. Okay? And their eyesight all came back because I removed the inflammation.
Wow. Wow.
And most doctors around the world don't even do a simple blood test called C-reactive protein, which will measure the amount of inflammation in your body.
What's that called? Repeat that again. We didn't catch that.
C, C-reactive protein, CRP.
The active protein.
Yeah, that will measure how much inflammation you got.
Perfect.
Yeah, my
That's a
wife
good
and
one.
I, if
Uh-huh.
you're under 7,
Hmm.
then you have minimal inflammation. If you're over 7, you got a lot of inflammation. You're going to have arthritis. You can have cancer. You can have diabetes. Everything is related to inflammation. Myself and my wife and my kids have below 1 inflammation.
Wow. 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 Wow.
And you can do that. If you keep inflammation out of your body, you will never be sick.
Wow.
Mm.
Doctor, I know that you are a specialist in colon and
Yeah,
with a lot of men having situations with prostate, right? Inflammation,
prostate. We
right?
are number
And
1
I
in
know that
prostate.
I
Yeah.
know that you're a specialist in that.
Uh,
Give us a little, I know that we're not allowed to say anything about curing anything, but
yeah.
how can the xanthomist help each individual person,
Well,
right?
how colon cancer occurs
Hmm.
is about 15 to 20% is genetic. If
Hmm.
your mother or father or brothers or sisters have had colon cancer, you got about 15 to 20% of getting it if you live to be 70. Okay? But the rest of it is preventable. How do you prevent it? Now, I had a 14-year-old boy. I had a 19-year-old girl. The boy had colon cancer at the age of 14. Okay. I had a 19-year-old girl that had rectal cancer. So I asked them, I said, what do you eat? Do you have a family history? No, nobody in my family has cancer. I said, then what do you eat every day? He said, I live with my mother, and she's a single mother. She has 2 jobs, leaves home at 6 in the morning, comes home at 8. Then does she cook before she leaves? No, she never cooked. Then what do you eat? She left a few dollars on the kitchen table. I go to fast food place. I don't want to mention the name of it, but you know, for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner.
Oh
I
boy.
said, do you understand? If you take meat and you leave it on a table for 6 hours, it starts rotting unless you put preservatives.
Hmm.
And now the preservatives are harmful to your body. It causes inflammation in your colon. Inflammation causes polyps. Polyps causes cancer.
Huh.
That boy was dead in 2 years from liver spread. I took out his colon for cancer, but it already had spread in the lymph node. The other girl, I couldn't save her rectum, so I ended up doing a colostomy. So she'll be wearing a bag for the rest of her life from age 19. So diet plays a significant part. Okay? For instance, uh, there's a company called Monsanto have changed the DNA of almost every plant. So they don't have to spray anymore on cornfields or apple trees or anything like that. When an insect drops on those plants, okay, try to eat the apple or grape, the GI tract of those insects explodes
Mm.
because no living thing, whether it is a pet or dog or a cat, can tolerate anything where the DNA of a food is changed. The body reacts. How it reacts? It's kind of we have difficulty breathing. And in this country especially, our mothers, they have newborn babies, they don't breastfeed their children for a year or 2 years or 3 years like they do in Asia and China and Japan. So the kids don't have any immunity. That's why 40 to 50 children die every year from peanut allergy. That
Wow.
was unknown. That was unknown when I came from London, to Henry Ford. So they carry EpiPen. Every mother now has to carry an EpiPen. And, in case the newborn he accidentally eats peanut and is allergic to peanut allergy.
Mm.
And 2 years ago, the EpiPen was 400. Now it's $1,600. How can a family that's living on a fixed income afford $1,600?
Yeah, that's
So
amazing.
we have a lot of problem in this country.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you
Yep.
know, the,
So you think that the
but
mangosteen fruit
uh
can benefit with people that are suffering with some kind of rectum or colon situation?
yeah, it's because everything is due to inflammation.
Correct.
Cancers are due to inflammation.
So
You
if
know.
we're taking our XanthoMyst, right, we
uh
spray 3 sprays in a day.
Yeah, right. That's what I do.
How much do you recommend if somebody's going through those situations uh,
Mhm.
to help them benefit with that problem?
Well, once you get the cancer, it's much more difficult to cure somebody unless they're very early stage. But it's 1,000 times easier to prevent diseases than trying to cure it.
Right. Yeah.
But the society has not learned that because our medical schools, our hospitals do not teach how to prevent diseases except how to cure diseases. It's
Hmm.
already too late. It's so much easier to prevent diseases, okay,
Yeah.
than trying to cure it. And every pill you take, okay, has a side effect.
Hmm.
Yeah, like people take statins. You heard of statins for cholesterol?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. One of the side effects is you get an occult bleeding from the right side of the colon. You go to the doctor, you're anemic. Okay. So they say, let's find out why. So they do an laparoscope, then they do a colonoscopy. But since there's occult bleeding, you can't see any blood in those exams. Okay. By the time it comes out on your left side of the colon, in the bowel movement, the stools are dark. But they say you got anemia. We don't know what's causing it, but we'll put you on iron tablet. Iron tablet causes constipation. Then they gave them medication for constipation.
Hmm.
You see,
Wow.
but
Wow.
I think everybody that's listening to me, have your doctor test you for inflammation called C-reactive protein. See where you stand.
Awesome.
Okay. And then the xanthomyst can reduce inflammation in your body.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Doctor, I mean, that's incredible information you have given us. Um, I mean, I know you're such an expert in the mangosteen field.
Yeah.
I like to open it up to the people because I know a lot of people probably have some questions I want to ask. If you don't mind,
Yeah.
I'm
So.
going to open it up. Everybody, I'm
Yeah.
going to unmute everybody. Or you know what? I'm going to keep muted.
Uh,
Unmute yourselves if you have a question for Dr. Tula. Just go ahead and unmute yourselves. Any questions?
Dr. Tootla, I have a question.
yes.
Um, is there any system or anywhere in the body that the mangosteen cannot be beneficial?
There is no, it goes in your blood, and the blood goes all over your body to every cell in the body. Okay? Because without blood oxygen flowing into part of your body, that part of the body will die. So when you get the XanthoMyst, it goes all over your body,
That's
every
wonderful.
cell at the atomic level.
That's awesome. Thank you very much.
Great
Okay.
question, Ann. Great question.
Hey, hey, Al, I've got a question for the doc.
Go ahead, Michael.
Does the mangosteen spray does it cross the blood-brain barrier?
It does. It does. Because not many things will cross the brain barrier to the mangosteen world. So we have a patient who was about 45 from Texas, woke up one morning and with a severe headache. And the headache wouldn't go away. And within 24 hours, he was throwing up because the pain was so bad. He went to his family doctor, and then the family doctor said, gave him some Tylenol for controlling his pain. And he said, go home and take this. If it doesn't go away, come back and see me. We'll do some x-rays. So it never got any better. It got worse. He went next day. They did a brain scan. In the brain scan, they found a, um, a tumor called glioblastoma multiforme. There are different kind of brain cancer. This is the worst kind, the size of a golf ball. Okay, so somebody called me that knows him, and I attended one of my meetings at one of the airports. He says, I have a friend who's got a advanced brain cancer, and they wouldn't operate on him because when you have a cancer like that in your brain, there's so much blood going into your brain because brain cells multiply 1 million times faster than normal cell. Okay, and they need oxygen. The way you get oxygen is increased blood flow. He said, if I open your head up to operate on you, you will bleed out on the operating table. You have 3 to 6 months to live. Okay?
Hmm.
So somebody called me and asked him, is this? I said, I don't know much about it. I can't tell I can cure you anything, but I know what it has done for me. And I've done research at the atomic level that if I can remove all the uh, free radicals that's causing all this problem, and that time we didn't have the mess. So he bought 10 cases of the mangosteen juice. Take it around the clock. And then keep your appointment. In 3 months, go and get a brain scan. I want to see what happens. So he did. I said, if you're still alive, I don't promise you're going to be alive because that's the worst kind of brain cancer. In 3 months, the size of the brain cancer reduced by 50%.
Wow.
Then he went back another 3 months. I said, keep your appointment, get another brain scan 6 months later. That tumor had reduced by to a size of a peanut.
Hmm.
And then the last scan, I said, taking one more scan. So he got a call on the 9th month of his brain scan. So the doctor called him. He said, you better come and see me. So he said, why? Why you sound so serious? I beat the 3 to 6 months period. I'm still alive. He said, but I can't talk to you on the phone. Come and see me. So he went to his office. And he sat down and he put the scan on the screen. He says, I can't find any tumor. That was 2007. He's still alive.
Amen.
I,
Amen.
and he will go in my book as one of the testimonials. You know? So
Wow.
it does help. I don't say I'll cure you of anything, but I know what it does at the atomic level. If
Amen.
you want to try it, fine. And don't stop any medication without the permission of your family doctor.
Right.
Okay?
I,
And if
Hey, Al, I'd like to make a comment on something that the doctor said that I
uh,
think is so vitally important for everybody that is on this call,
right.
and hopefully they'll share it with their friends and family. And
Okay.
you mentioned, Doc, when you go for blood work, make sure that you're tested for your C-reactive protein.
No
I
doubt.
can't I can't tell you how many times I've asked people, are they getting checked for their C-reactive protein, and they don't even know
No,
what it
what it means.
is.
And besides, insurance don't pay.
Yeah.
Well, I was tested for it.
Yeah. I get mine tested every 6 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
But it's really important for everybody to get that blood test. I mean,
no
so
doubt.
important. It's all about inflammation.
Right. Now, you heard of that Danny Thomas's research hospital for infant cancers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Now, so many kids in this world end up with a tumor, sarcoma, called sarcoma of the bone. I've been to Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, South Africa. They don't get that kind of sarcomas in the bones. The reason for that is when the mother is pregnant and she got inflammation, she passes on to the baby when it's born.
Mm.
Okay? So I would be writing a paper on why not every pregnant woman get a C-reactive protein.
Mm.
Okay? Because I did a research on autism. I don't know if you know that or not, but I couldn't publish my work in this country. The reason for that, medical journals make money mostly by drug advertisement.
Yeah.
Okay? So they said if you're going to publish something you didn't use drugs, we'll lose that income.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
the Australian Medical Journal published my work. And that particular journal goes all over the world, except it doesn't come in this country.
Mm. That's
So,
amazing.
so you can ask the question, why is that? If everybody are like me, reach 90 with no medication, what will happen to the pharmaceutical companies?
Mm.
I just want 20% or 30% of Americans do what I do and to see the results. But, when I did my first robotic surgery, my colleagues at Ford Hospital reported me to Lansing to take my license away, saying that you cannot remove cancer without opening the belly, you know? And yet, when the federal government got involved and called Mayo Clinic, they don't know me in Washington. They said, we're trying to learn how to do it too. Dr. Tootla is ahead of everybody. So I ended up with Mayo Clinic for 5 years doing research and teaching at the University of Michigan how to do robotic surgery. So I've been teaching ever since, different countries.
Amen. Amen.
Congratulations.
Uh-huh.
Great question. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for those questions, Michael.
You're
Anybody
welcome.
else?
Thank you.
Anybody else has? Just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask the question.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Laura.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi,
Jen.
doctor. So since you were talking about babies and pregnancy, I know everybody says check with your doctor when you're pregnant. What are your
Right,
thoughts on all that?
right,
And what age of children should be able
right,
to use mangosteen?
right. Yeah, I think it's important that a pregnant woman, tests her blood level for C-reactive protein, because that's how I found in my research work, the people are ending up with autism and different conditions when they are born. Okay,
Mhm.
and if we can reduce the C-reactive protein, because when I look at you, okay, your vision goes through my eyes, okay, and then the two nerve supply from each of my eye goes to the back of the brain called the occipital lobe, which is the vision center. Then the vision center sends a message to my frontal lobe, which is the behavioral center. And I can tell you, you look beautiful, you look normal, you look friendly. But in, so in the case of
Thank you.
autism, it goes to a gland called hypothalamus where the fear center is. Why are you looking at me?
Mm.
They don't
Yeah.
get along, and can't get along with a sibling. So this is how it works.
Hmm.
I don't use the word I believe. If I didn't do a research and publish what I have, then I don't use the word I believe. I have evidence to
Mm.
show what I'm doing, you know. So
Yes. Testimonies.
it's just like you're telling me I believe it's raining. That means there's an element of doubt. Versus you say it is bleeding. When it is bleeding, that's a fact. When you say I believe, there's an element of doubt. So therefore, it's very important that whoever talks to you, show me evidence. Okay, that's how I led my life. Doing research and all. I have a lot of research to be done, but I can't get funding. You
Yeah.
know,
Uh,
so, yeah.
Well, great question.
Dr.
Bill, you
Tula.
have a question, Bill? Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, Bill Moss, good to see and hear from you
Thanks,
again,
sir.
Dr.
Yeah.
Tula. Yeah, it's
Uh-huh.
been a while. We used to work
Yeah,
together a lot back
right.
in the juice days, you know.
Tuesday there, yeah.
And
All the
speaking of
time. Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
speaking of the juice days,
Mm.
and you're talking about the acids and things that break down and
Mhm.
whatever you put in your stomach, and you only get a
Right,
small percentage.
right,
What do
correct.
you feel types of percentage you're getting compared to, we used to drink 3 ounces of juice
Right, 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 right,
a day, and now we're taking 4 sprays. Tell us
right.
the difference you think in the percentages or power or effect that the
Well,
xanthomist has over the juice.
well, look at it now. If you came to me and I check your heart, do an EKG, and do necessary tests to see where your heart is, you had a family history of heart attack or whatever it is, and I say you got a little blockage in your heart, but it's not big enough to worry about right now. But it can get worse. So I put you on drugs. But if you can take something and you get an angina, and the doctor will tell you, I'll give you a prescription for nitroglycerin. That means if you get a chest pain, okay, you are impending heart attack. The only way to preserve your life is to take nitroglycerin. So it goes into your bloodstream in 4 seconds. So it dilates the blood vessels. So you don't get a heart attack. So there's the same principle that we use the nanotechnology for the mist. It goes into your bloodstream in a few seconds. Okay? And once the blood system carries it around your body with trillions of cells at atomic level, it has a tremendous positive effect. Because you don't lose the drug, the 90% of the benefit by drinking or eating something. And in this country, I'm of Indian background, you very rarely see bipolar or stomach problems or anything like that, because each of us have 10,000 taste buds. And if you eat only bland food, the message from your taste buds to your brain is very weak. And the message from your brain to the stomach, the gallbladder, and the pancreas is weak. So you don't have enough juices. So when the food that you eat leaves your stomach, there are tiny pieces of food substance. Anything that goes into your small bowel is not pure liquid, you get cramps. They call it IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. Indians don't get that,
Hmm.
you know, because of the spicy food. You know? So,
Okay. Well, good. Any,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
yeah, Linda, go ahead.
yeah. Dr. Tootla, how you doing?
fine, fine.
Good, that's good. Thank you.
Mm.
Um, they put me on Eloquist. They said I
Okay,
have,
blood thinner. Yeah,
yeah.
blood thinner. Yeah.
And I know I use the term. I used to use turmeric, garlic, everything.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't use that now because you're on the blood thinner. But I
Yeah.
do the xanthomyst and the glutamist.
Uh,
I'm just wondering, maybe one day I could ever get off of this Eloquist.
Personally, if I was in your position, I look forward to not taking it anymore.
Okay.
Because you know why? If you fall and hit your head sometime, you can get brain hemorrhage.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So now, for instance, dementia and Alzheimer's. We are
Mhm.
number one in the world. Finland was number one. Now we are number one.
Wow.
Okay? And India is 168 in the world level. Hardly, you don't get that. The reason is what we eat.
Right.
Prevents inflammation. So the blood flow to your brain is good all the time.
Right.
But now I see patients in the age of 40, 45, 60 are getting dementia and Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
We have become number one. Just like breast cancer.
Yeah.
Okay, 15, 20% is genetic. But the other 80% are preventable. We are the only country who has not passed a law not to use parabens in
Oh.
shampoo, makeup,
Mm-hmm.
lipstick. We are the only country. Every country in the world is banned because that causes breast cancer. Now, Macy's, Walmart, and a lot of stores now are making paraben-free shampoo, paraben-free lipstick,
Mm-hmm.
paraben-free makeup because it's dangerous to use anything with parabens.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, thank you. But
okay.
also the CRP, you said you have to
CRP, C-reactive protein.
and if the doctor doesn't want to do it, then what?
Then you say, I read it in the internet. They say inflammation is the basis of almost all chronic diseases. I'd like to know. I'll pay for it.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
expensive, you know,
Okay.
because they don't usually theoretical do that, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, you and I will never be invited to the White House for dinner. You know what? I didn't give them 100,000 for the campaign fund. Neither did you. So who
No.
gets invited? The people who have money. And therefore the government cannot do without their money to win an election. Okay? CEOs, big billionaires are get invited.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So our system is not the best for the ordinary Americans.
He answered some of those questions for you. All right, I got for one more Joe. You want to go ahead and you be last one? Yeah,
thought you said
Joan,
Jim,
go ahead. I'm
excuse
sorry.
me. Hi, thank
Yes,
you so
ma'am.
much, Doctor. I so
Okay.
appreciate everything you're saying.
Yeah.
I have had autoimmune disease all my life,
Uh-huh.
challenged with a variety of things. And
Yeah.
it hasn't been until I came on to join the CTFO team and started using the XanthoMyst.
Right.
I have not been on a prescription since then.
Right. Right. You know, autoimmune.
It's amazing. I thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah. Did you have Crohn's disease or any other?
I had oh, excuse me. I can't think right now. I'm so
Yeah.
excited to talk to you.
Yeah. 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 There's no doubt. You know, autoimmune disease is most of the time is genetically acquired, but you can keep it under control. You know.
I
Mhm.
had oh, for Pete's sake.
Do you
I'm
know
sorry.
what kind of medication you were taking?
Well, they put me onto a blood dialysis
Oh,
for
okay.
Guillain-Barré
Oh, Guillain-Barré. Yeah. Yeah.
that I
Sure.
had.
Yeah. But you haven't taken that for the longest time?
No,
Okay.
but I've always had infections with sinuses or
Right.
some kind
Right.
of respiratory problem.
Sure. Sure.
But till I got onto the XanthoMyst,
Uh-huh.
it was a regular spring and fall,
Right.
and
That's
I've
great.
not had it.
That's great. That's great.
I
Yeah.
think so too. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. You can write me a note, and tell me about it because I will be writing a book about what I have researched on, what I can do for people. Okay.
Okay,
Without taking medication. My email is Dr. Tootla, drtootla@gmail.com.
very good. Thank
Okay.
you again.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Al.
Best of luck. Yeah.
Hey, LaDon, I think you had a question. Go ahead and unmute yourself and ask the question. LaDon?
Yes. My question was just related to the XanthoMyst.
Uh-huh.
As far as, is there a limit as to how much you can actually take within a day's time?
No, there is no limit because there is no side effect. There is no such thing as side effect with XanthoMyst. It's a pure natural stuff. Do you know what happened to our bee colonies in the United States? You know, the bees that make honey?
Uh-huh.
75% of the bee colonies are dead. In another 5 years, we won't have any bees making honey. The reason is most of the plants that have flowers, fruit plants or vegetable plants, and the mother bees goes and gets the sap and takes it to the hive to make honey. But they are altered DNA. So when a baby bee is born, and if the honey is what you call got DNA changed, then the bees are dying. The baby bees are dying. So 70 to 75% of beehives are dead in this country. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Oh, well, great.
All
Thank you,
right. Thank you.
Dr. Tulip. Thank you so much for being
Okay.
with us tonight, Doctor.
Okay.
An honor, and I think our people on my team and everybody who can listen to this video are going to get so much information.
Right.
We want from you, Doctor, is that when you start publishing your book, let us know. We would
Okay.
love to get a hold of your book and
Right.
purchase that book from you. I
Okay.
appreciate it very much. Thank you so much for being
Okay,
on.
you're welcome. Everybody
Thank you,
keep
thank you.
well. Yeah. If
Thank you.
anybody has question in the future, you have my number. And if
Yes.
I'm busy with patients, just leave your message and I will call you back. I
Perfect.
get a lot
That's
of
great.
calls.
Great.
Okay.
All righty. Hey, all, thank you very much for jumping on tonight.
Mhm.
Hope that you had a great time and great information. I hope you took a lot of notes. And if you have any questions whatsoever, if you have questions for Dr. Tootla, let me know and I'll get them to him. And also, don't forget about the promos, folks. See you all next Tuesday night. We're going to have a special next Tuesday night about glutathione. Next week, it's going to be about glutathione. Good night, folks. Have a great evening and God bless you all. Good
Thank you,
night.
Dr.
Night.
Tula.
Good night.
Doctor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Good
Thank you
night.
very much.
Now,
Thank you
Bye.
very much, Doc.
will this be recorded?
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Good night.
Good
Okay, I
night.
just wanted to look
Thank
at
you, Dr. Tula.